What's up, CEOs? So, live training today, we are talking about, is dealer representative a great option? So while I wait for people to get the notifications, join the Facebook group so that you can get these live trainings sooner, because this video goes down there and then is uploaded to YouTube. But if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe so you can let the algorithm know that this is some good information and it should be shared. Okay. Let me make sure I am do not disturb. Right. So, yes, I'll put the link in the description to join the group. If you do not know me, I am Shamel Leonard, and I founded the Auto Dealer Business School because I wanted to help dealers with the business side of selling cars. Flipping cars was very different from selling cars. I started out flipping cars and then got licensed and was like, oh, it'll just be easy peasy. And it was not. So I started the Auto Dealer Business School to help other dealers with the business side, the bookkeeping, sales, marketing, advertising, team building, all of that. So that's what goes down at the Auto Dealer Business School. Come take a look so that you can grow your business into something that is sustainable and predictable income, and that can build wealth for you and your family. Okay, that is the name of the game. That is why we are in business. We're in business to change our lives. Okay, CEOs. So this video is sponsored by Drama Free Licensing, because you need your own license. It is the only way that you will be able to build sustainable wealth is with your own license. And it's a lot easier than you think. And if you're a dealer representative, a lot of times those fees are the exact same as it would be if you had your own license. So just get your own license so that then you can offer financing and you can offer other revenue streams to build your wealth. Okay, so Drama Free Licensing will help you to get your license by doing everything for you, including finding the location, including clearing your criminal history if you've ever been arrested, including submitting the application and getting all the paperwork in and getting you approved. Okay, Drama Free Licensing will do that for you. So if you need assistance, you got, time restraints, you don't like paperwork like that, we got you. Drama Free Licensing. Okay. So today, this video is actually inspired by a complaint. So I got a bad comment on a YouTube video, a couple of YouTube videos, because he was trying to get my attention. I don't know why, because I was giving him my attention, but I got a couple of, bad complaints from a guy who came to me, messaged me on my website about getting a license. So I explained to him that the best way to get licensed is to get your own license, but he was adamant about being a representative. And I said, okay, well, if that's the case, then be a representative then. And if you need, and he asked me if I knew someone who he could work with. So I had just met a dealer who asked me if I knew anybody who wanted to be a representative. So I was like, okay, maybe this is guy, maybe they need each other. So I referred him, but I was very clear that I, this dealer is not a part of the $1 Million Dealer Club. This dealer is not someone who I know really well, so make sure that you vet this dealer relationship. So long story short, look, long story longer, you probably can predict what happened, but, what ended up happening is it didn't work out. Okay. So now I did talk with the other dealer, because he came back to me when it didn't work out, and he said, it didn't work out. I haven't been able to get access. The other dealer told me it's because somebody else on the license didn't pay for a purchase. And so it locked everybody out who's on the license. Okay. So then I explained to him that that's what happened. He said, well, I want my money back. I said, okay, well, they said they'll give you your money back. So let's just wait and see what happens. Come back to me and let me know what happens. Next thing I know, I'm getting bad comments on my YouTube. Right. So that's what inspired this video, even though it had been on my heart to talk about dealer representative, because these last couple of months, I've been getting tons of calls from people with similar experiences. Okay. So I am doing this video today because if you are just adamant about being a dealer representative, like you just, for whatever reason, just do not want your own license, you're adamant about being a dealer representative, there are some things that you need to ask about to make sure it's going to work out for you. All right. And so that is what I'm here to tell you today. I wanted to say something else though, too, about that interaction. But I don't quite remember now. Maybe it'll come up. But one, if you are going to do the dealer representative option, I do not recommend it. I don't. I say that all the time. I recommend you get your own license. I don't think that's the best way to go. I don't recommend it. Okay. I don't run a dealer program, a dealer representative program. I do not have dealers on my license. It is a lot to manage. I do not recommend it. Okay. But it is a way that a lot of people are doing what they need to do. So I do not condemn it either. Start where you are, do what you need to do, right? I flipped cars with open titles before I became a dealer. So I'm not judging nobody. All right. But if you're going to do it, this is what you need to know. What's up, CJ? This is what you need to know. One, when you go to the dealer who's setting up the relationship, you want to understand how many other people are on this license. Okay. So you ask that question. How many people are on this license? The next question you ask is, what is your procedure to handle people who do not pay for their auction purchases? Because that's the problem. One of the problems with being a dealer representative, because everybody who's on that license, associated with that license, gets locked out Friday after one person didn't pay. Now they'll wait till that Friday, but come Friday, everybody is locked out. Everybody, even the owner of the business is locked out. All right. So you want to ask, what is your procedure? And what you want to hear is that they have the money to go ahead and pay for whatever, somebody didn't pay for, and they kick that person off, and then, everybody else keep going. Okay. So you want to know that. And then that goes hand in hand with, how do you handle them when dealers, if we ever get locked out of the license, how do you handle that? Okay. And that answer has to be pleasing to you. Okay. If they say, well, we'll wait 2 weeks or whatever, that has to be okay with you. Every dealer has their own process procedure on how they handle that problem. Okay. Of unpaid balances at the auction and locked out at the auction. Okay. So you want to know what that is and be okay with that in your heart and your soul. Okay. So, and then the next thing you want to know is how they handle titles, like how long it takes you to get titles, what's the procedure to get titles, what do they need from you to get titles, where are the titles coming from, what happens if a title never comes, all the title questions, because that title is coming to the dealership because they're the dealership, they're the business that's on that title. And, you got to wait for them to get it and then you get it. So understand that timeline very clearly so that you know how to sell that car. All right. That's been another issue that people have been coming to me with when they're asking questions about the dealer representative is their titles have been very slow. Okay. So the places that the dealer representative is the rub, okay, is locked out of the auction, titles slow, and then also it just being kind of expensive. To be honest, some of these prices that I've been hearing about these dealer representatives, I'm like, for $5,000, you can have your own license. Like, there are dealer representatives out there charging $5,000, right? You can have your own license. You can have your own license for $1,500, for $2,000, for $2,500, right? Depending on your state, right? And then even if it's lower than that to start, over time, you got to pay that per car fee or whatever. You want to make sure that the maths, right? You got to make sure that you're not paying too much for what you're getting. Okay. Like, that is your responsibility. I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there is no option. Hey, what's up, Jermaine? There is no option where you are free of responsibility and free of having to vet your opportunity. Okay. Especially with a dealer rep, you can't just be like, oh, I paid you my money. Now, you need to deliver, because that is literally somebody else's license. And I'm just saying that energy was there with that guy who, I guess was trying to call me out. by saying, you know, I trusted you. But listen, I told you, I don't know them. Okay, you can't put your trust and your faith so much in somebody else. And this is coming from me, who is saying, you know, I want people to trust me, but not too much. Like, you need to vet your own opportunity. Okay, it needs to resonate with you that this is good information, this is safe, and that I have all my questions answered, and I know what is going to happen if it goes wrong. Okay, it is not anybody else's responsibility to take care of you, especially in your business. And especially if you gave them your money, is your responsibility, if you gave them your money, to make sure that you get what you pay for. All right, CEOs, that is just business investments 101. That's investments 101. That is, yes, investments 101. That's what I want to say. Okay, CEOs, you got any questions? Let me know in the comments. Okay. This brings me to my second point, which is, I know a lot of dealers don't want to get into the business because of irrational customers. Okay. Because after that dude had that situation, and I told him, I was like, just come back to me. Let me know what happens. Gives me an update. And he didn't. And the very next thing I heard was, you know, on my YouTube bad comment, that's an irrational customer. Now you just mad. Now you want to vent. Now you don't even really want to fix it. You just want to mess up somebody else's life. Listen, irrational customers will cause you to not want to deal with the business, right? But you're going to have irrational customers no matter what you do. My daddy told me that every dollar I make comes from someone. And what he was saying by that is, one, you have to treat people well. And two, you have to learn how to work with people. Okay. Like, people are going to people. All right. And so if you are afraid of irrational customers, you have to just know how to handle them. You have to, one, make your complaint process clear. Now, I did not make my complaint process clear with him because he was not a customer of mine. I did not receive any money from him. I did not even make any money from that whole referral. There was no kickback. There was no referral fee. There was no nothing. I was simply doing a favor because that's what he wanted, and that's what the dealer said they wanted. So I was like, well, y'all get together and work that out. Okay. But now I know that anytime you even refer, then you want to make sure you wash your hands of the situation. Look, this is my complaint process. Okay. If you have an issue, this is the channels you go through. Okay. And then also let them know, hey, if you're blowing me up on social, you will be blocked. Because ultimately I did have to block him because he was cursing me out on my website chat. And I even said in that, I'm like, how, if you did this to the dealer, no wonder they blocked you, because nobody's going to want to help you if you're just cursing them out, right? But we know those people, we know those customers, the ones that just want to start mess. They just hot, you know, they just mad. They just want it fixed. So they want to abuse you, make you fix it, I guess, threaten you or whatever. Listen, I'm from Gary, Indiana. You ain't gonna threaten me. Look, I don't want to pull my tough card, but I am not threatened by much because I have had to deal with lots of different people. Okay. And if you're in this business, you need to also not be threatened by much. All right. And yes, it is okay to block irrational people, irrational customers. Hey, Billy, what's up? It is okay to block irrational customers. All right. Because at some point, you're not getting anything done anymore with them. There was no solution I could provide for him other than saying, you know, I'll make this dealer do something, but I can't make anybody do anything, right? That was his responsibility, and that was what he was supposed to do. So I'm just telling you this because you're going to have these kind of customers. So just be prepared. Don't be scared. Just be prepared that, they're feeling helpless. So they want to, you know, gain some power, and they feel like gaining power is blowing you up, blowing up your reviews, also, cursing you out. Right. But little do they know that actually takes away their power. And even if somebody wanted to help them, they can't help them because we can't even communicate at this point. All right, CEOs, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. All right. So the point of this is, being a dealer representative is risky. There is no part of this business that is without risk. Okay. And when I first started, I considered being a dealer representative. I sure did, because it's it's an easier way to get in. So I thought, but once I started weighing the pros and the cons, it wasn't so easy and it wasn't so profitable. I had to wait on somebody else. I had to think about somebody else. I had to worry about somebody else doing what they were supposed to do. No, thank you. If I'm spending this kind of money, I want to have control, and I want to make sure I can recoup my investment however I need to recoup my investment. Okay, so I ultimately vetoed that option because it wasn't giving what I needed it to give. All right, so that is why I'm always on here saying get your own license. All right, dealer representative is not the way to go. All right, but I understand. I'm not judging. I understand if you need to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. But make sure it makes sense. Make sure the math maths. Make sure you get in, get out. Get in, get your money, flip some cars, get out. Okay, use that money, get your own license, get out. Okay, somebody out there probably has been a rep for years and has probably done very well, but those success stories are far and few between. What is most likely is that you're going to overpay, you're going to have issues with getting titles, and at some point you're going to be locked out of the auction. Okay, that is what's most likely, CEOs. As always, I have your back. I really want to be the one who is telling you what is really going on in this business so that you can plan and you can create a winning strategy. Nothing just works out. Nothing just works out. You have to make it work out. You have to give it the ingredients that lead to it working out, right? It's like baking a cake. Okay, you can't say the cake is nasty if you didn't put the right ingredients in it and then blame the cake, right? You have to make everything work out. I don't care if you can choose any business. AI is popular right now. If you do AI, if you do anything, any business, you still have to make it work out. There is no business without risk. I chose cars because they are so easy to sell, because people love cars. Okay, it is such a product that as long as you have it, people will come and get it. Okay, and I love cars. So they say if you love something, you never work a day in your life. I love cars, okay? And I love that it changes. I love their new cars coming out. I love the new paint. I love the new options on the cars. I love it all, okay? I love this business. And if you love this business and you want to turn this business into your wealth generator, I got you, all right? But you have to take responsibility for your results, no matter which path you take. I'm always praying for your success, but you have to do the work. All right, CEO. So if you think that you're ready to get your license, put a comment, drama-free license, okay, in the comments. All right. And let me know so that I can help you to get your own license. All right. Georgia voted to change their law on the space. Okay. So I'm going to put the details on when that's going to go into effect, but you need to get your license in now. I'm working with a couple of people right now in Georgia, getting their license in so that it is in before the law actually goes into effect, because it was voted on, unfortunately. Okay, so it's going to make it harder to get a license in Georgia. All right, CEOs, be blessed. Connect with me if you are ready to get licensed. Get those licenses in, especially if you're in Georgia, so you can get approved before that law is a law. All right. Be blessed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.